If you want to live a long and happy life, then stop comparing yourself with someone and allow God to do it for you. Allow God to bless you the way He wants to bless you, instead of forcing Him to do for you what He did for someone close to you. You don't know what God has in stock for you, but you're willing to trade it just because you saw someone else's blessings. Have you ever sat down just for a minute to think about the fact that yours might be bigger if you allow Him to do it for you? We limit God's blessings on us because we compare ourselves to someone else. God is willing to bless you beyond your wildest imagination, if you're willing to trust Him that He'll give you the blessing. Most people could have been bigger, but they're in where they are because of comparison. There's something greater in stock for you. Just stop comparing yourself with someone and allow God to do it for you. I know most times it's easier said than done. Beloved, just because the person close to you has made it doesn't mean you're not going to make it. The race of success is not dependent on who first started. Overtaking is always allowed, and God can give you that speed. The Bible speaking says it's not of him that willeth or runneth, but of God that shows mercy. If God has chosen to bless you, He'll give you the speed to overtake all those who started before you. So why not stop comparing yourself and allow God to do it for you? You also need to understand that people show you the image they want you to see. I know we have people that have made it on social media. They're all a pretense. He or she is not better than you in any way. You are even better than most of them. Stop comparing yourself with someone. Allow God to do it for you. He has such a great plan for you, if only you're patient and follow Him to the end. The word of the Lord, according to Romans 12 verse 2 says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." Because of comparing ourselves with someone else, we no longer renew our mind. Rather, we've conformed with this world and we forget what the will of God is. We look at someone else's life and think that this is the will of God. Beloved, I'm happy to remind you that the will of God for you is perfect for just you alone. The will of God is perfect and acceptable, so why not wait for it, rather than want what your friend has? Stop comparing yourself with someone. Allow God to do it for you if you want to live a fulfilled life. The Word of God, speaking in Galatians 6 verse 4 to 5 says, "Each of you must examine your actions. Then you can be proud of your accomplishments without comparing yourselves to others. Assume your responsibility." Most of us are all simply living the life of others, the dream of others, without even realizing it. We've compared ourselves so much with their standards that we no longer know the difference between what they want in life and what we want. Because you compare your success with theirs, you no longer feel the satisfaction that a person can get after accomplishing what he set out to achieve. Beloved, only when you stop comparing yourself with someone and allow God to do it for you, will you begin to feel fulfilled for achieving your own goals and desires. You will be proud of yourself because this is what you wanted. There is great joy and happiness when we allow God to do it for us. You must examine your actions and be proud of your accomplishments if you want to be fulfilled. Examine yourself now and ask yourself this: do I feel fulfilled by wanting what my neighbor has? The truth is, those of us comparing ourselves with someone else doesn't know what we want because of comparison. To live a satisfying life, then pay attention to your work, for then you'll be satisfied with your work. and you'll not need to compare yourself with anyone. The windows of heaven are ever ready to bless you when you allow yourself to be contented and proud of the person God has called you to be, rather than comparing yourself to someone else. According to the Word of God, it is pure stupidity for you to be comparing yourself with someone. The book of 2 Corinthians 10 verse 12 says, "Oh, don't worry. I wouldn't dare say that I am as wonderful as these other men who tell you how good they are. Their trouble is that they are only comparing themselves with each other and measuring themselves against their little ideas. What stupidity!" Beloved, it is a lack of wisdom of not knowing what the Lord is capable of doing for you that we allow you to compare yourself with someone. Imagine serving a God that owns both heaven and earth, but go around looking at what other people have, when I can receive my own. God can decide to bless all of us on this planet, and it will not affect His riches even one bit. Stupidity, beloved, makes us compare ourselves to one another. You are unique and rich in your way. You're blessed with the best ideas that can bring forth riches. If only you look inward to what God has deposited in you, and not outward, then God will do it for you. Most of us are living a life full of complaints, and if only God can play us a tape of our calm complaints, we'll be tired of ourselves. We look at how another person is and wish we were like them. We say, if only God would have created us just the way He made them, then our life would have been different. Beloved, I don't know about you, but I know I'm wonderfully created in the image and likeness of God. It means every single thing in my body represents an area of God. So what's the need of comparing myself? I'm very sure that if God made me the way He made my neighbor, then it was not going to be me, but the person I am comparing myself with. My dear, you must understand this so that you can stop comparing yourself and begin to allow God to do it for you, so that you will go far. You are unique in your creation. God was so specific about the details in your body that He had to count the hairs on your head. Stop telling yourself you would have been in certain places if not for the way you look. Trust me, if it was not your destiny, you'd still be very much where you are, even if you look different. Become comfortable in your skin and God will do it for you. Stop comparing yourself with someone and allow God to do it for you, if you want to live to the fullness of your potential. When what you want is just to be a little above the person you compare yourself with, how do you exploit other things that God has deposited inside of you? To each of us, there are things deposited inside but at different levels. So how do I know my level when I let a person's life become a measurement? When you compare your performance and action to that of another, you're allowing them to set your standard of achievement. If your only desire is to be like someone or better than them, then you'll never maximize your fullest potential. God wants to do it for you, but you must be willing to stop comparing yourself. When you compare yourself, you tell Him that He doesn't know what He's doing. I'm sure you know He is God and never makes a mistake. Beloved, if you must compare, then compare yourself with Christ. Don't get me wrong. Comparison with Christ that we can become more like Him, and not the type that we want to be God ourselves. Compare yourself with Christ to be able to live up to that standard. If you must compare, do that, and your life will never remain the same again, because God will do it for you. My prayer for you today is that God gives you the grace and discipline to stop comparing yourself and allow Him to do wonders in your life. Amen.